Hello, hello, it's Maggie Emerson here, and I am live, as you know. So quick, I promised I'd share it somewhere specifically. So while I wait for a couple people to show up, um, I am going to share this to my lovely Facebook group as well. So here we are today. So today is the first of 5 videos that I'm super excited to share with you. The series is called From Ask to Actualization, how to get in alignment with all your desires so you can have them with ease. Now, and today's video is actually about, but I don't know how. How many times have you thought, like, I'd like this, but I don't know how? So I'm uncovering that mystery and what not to do. And I have 5 very specific things of what not to do that I've done myself, and I sometimes do them again, and just to, give you a something that you can play with and go, oh, I do that. I wonder what would happen if I stopped doing that. But this whole ask to actualization. So in the Bible, it says, ask and you shall receive. And that is actually true. Now, what is not said about that is that you actually have to be ready to receive what you're asking for, or it won't show up. The universe delivers to you what it is you are ready for, right? And if you have any barriers or blocks up to it, which is I'm going to tell you what not to do, which those are some of the barriers and blocks you may or may not have, or that you're creating for yourself, the universe can't deliver. Like, you could literally ask for something and it would be right under your nose. But if you have any point of view or any kind of blindfold that, there's something in your perspective or how you've decided life has to be, it will stop that, or stop you from seeing it, because it's always there. Because the beautiful thing I love about life and about I love to create with energy and the energetics of things, is that it's always available. And we're never really there. And there's always choices that we can make to bring us closer to what we ask for. And some things show up faster than what we want them to. I mean, faster than what we want them to. What am I saying? Show up faster. And some things, it takes time, because the universe, when you ask for something, especially, not even especially, when you ask for something, the universe goes to work on your behalf to rearrange to allow you to have that. Now, you play a big part in this, and that's the big part in this is the how is not up to you. The how is up to the universe. So the first thing is uncovering the mystery of creation is you don't have to know how. You get to choose and move forward and know what it is you're asking for, or even the energies of what you're asking for. Because sometimes it's like we're asking for more joy, we're asking for happiness, we're asking for just like relief or ease. Choose that. It's as simple as that. Choose that now. What would it take for me to have joy and ease in my life right now? What could I do? Who could I talk to? Where could I go that would allow me to be in that energy? And it's as simple as that, and following like that piece. Like, for example, this morning I went to a dance class called Nia, and it's one of my favorite things to do in the entire world. And sometimes when I get really busy and get all up in my head and head trip, I forget that back to my body and brings me back to the energy of being me when I get out of that. And so I chose that this morning, and it just added so much to my life. So the how isn't actually choosing right now what it is you would like and your asks. Now, I want to go through 5 really quickly, and I have them written down so I don't forget them. What not to do. What not to do when you're asking for something, whether it's you're asking for, you're asking for your business to grow, or you're asking for people in your life that are a contribution, for a new friends. Maybe you've moved somewhere new and it's time to generate new friends. You're asking for it, but here's what not to do, right? So whatever it is, apply this and see if you're doing it. So the number one thing is comparing yourself. So if you're comparing yourself to anybody, you're shooting yourself in your foot. Right? It's like you go and think that so-and-so lives somewhere and has this many people in their life, and why don't you? Stop it. Just stop it. Stop comparing yourself and come back to that space of what am I asking for and what can I do right now to create it? Right? And the first thing you're going to want to do to create that is drop the comparison. Easy peasy, and sometimes we like to hold on to that compare-nightism that we do, right? The second thing you want to do is stop scrolling. Stop spending time scrolling and looking for what other people are doing or what you don't have. If you're scrolling and you found something for inspiration, sure. But if it adds to the comparison of like, why are they this way? Drop it. Stop scrolling. Take yourself off of, give yourself ground yourself actually from scrolling for a day, for a week, and see what that creates in your world, and use that energy that you would use to either, like I talked about before, the comparison or the scrolling, use that to put it towards what it is you want to create, what it is you're asking for. So that's number 2. Number 3 is making yourself wrong. So you want to stop making yourself wrong. Now, I've been a queen of making myself wrong, and what that does is it just deteriorates you, and nobody's going to stop that except for you. So you literally have to build a muscle, pick an activity, pick something, like literally put your hand up and stop yourself. When you go to the wrongness of you, you are just stopping everything from flowing in your life. So stop it. And what if everything you think about is wrong with you is actually the greatness of you? So one of the things I used to think was wrong with me was I didn't have a lot to say. I actually have plenty to say. I just had to find my way of how to say it. And I thought it was so wrong that I didn't have a lot to say. But what I discovered is when I have something to say, I really have something to say. And that works for me. And now that I don't make it wrong, there's more that I have to say, and I'm excited to share it. And that's what it is, right? And so the piece I actually want you to take with this, and if you will, should you dare, is whenever you go into the wrongness of you, I want you to flip it. What's right about this I'm not getting? Where's the gift in this? What's the strength in this? And really take a total, like a 180 degrees. How can I look at this differently? How can I look at this differently and see the gift in this and release the wrongness? Okay. Number 4 is what not to do is to talk unkindly to yourself. So this goes along with wrongness. So they all kind of play with each other and dance, but some things click easier than when, depending on how someone says them. So if you're finding, what I invite you to do throughout the next 5 days, because there'll be more things that I'm going to be sharing throughout the next, 4 more days, but today and going forward, is just really pay attention. Stalk yourself and how you speak to yourself. Now, it may not be out loud. It may be these little whispers that you speak to yourself in, but stalk it. And if it's not something you'd say to a child, and it's not something then that you'd say to your best friend, then it's probably something that you don't want to be saying to yourself anymore. And what you want to do, it's kind of like when you're wanting to eat healthy and fuel your body with food that nourishes you, is that you're going to want to find something to say to yourself instead. Maybe you've decided that one of the things I used to say to myself, similar to what I had just spoken about, is I didn't have anything to say. And I had to refuel that thought and go, I have so much to say. How would I like to say it? And then that opened the door to so many things, right? To being able to write more, to speak more, to share more. You got to flip it and invite yourself and give yourself the energy like you would a best friend, like you would encouraging a child. That you got to be that for you. Okay. And then the final number 5 of what not to do is to put yourself last, right? To put yourself last. So if you have big asks or you're creating your life, you can't create your life if you're putting yourself last. You can't. You're going to, if you put yourself last, there's probably not going to be a lot of energy on the table for you at the end of the day to create your life, right? And it's like, especially if you're a mom, which I know some of you out there who are working with me and playing with me our moms, right? And it's like I fell into the trap and I don't know, I hesitate calling it a trap, but I did call it a trap, that I would put everything for my kid first, to the extent that still to this day I will forget to feed myself as we walk out the door to some activity because I want to make sure my son is taken care of. But what does that create? It creates me being hungry or having to, like, whatever, like it just can create some interesting things, like me being dizzy because I haven't eaten. So now it's like putting that practice in place of, like, even with food, putting me first, and not necessarily first, side by side, sit down and eat with my kid, right? Or whatever it's going to take to allow me to be nourished. But when you're not putting yourself first, it's nearly impossible to create the life you'd like to have, right? And be in alignment or be in the energy of, this is what I'm creating. It'll always be there for you, right? So it's what you would like to create is always available for you. It just, to get there with more efficiency and elegance and ease, you want to flip these what not to do, right? Put yourself first, and that will allow you to create with so much more ease, right? And it's not a selfish thing, and it's not disregarding who's in your life, but notice where is your energy spent, and when are you, are you leaving what is the actions, the actions that that will take you closer to where you want to be. Are you doing them first? Are you doing them kind of when they fit? Because if you're doing them when they fit, I know from personal experience, it's going to be more of a challenge to get to where you are. Hi. Oh, yeah. It'll be more of a challenge to get to where you are than it is if you are actually putting yourself first. Yes. And Nicole, yes, it will be available right here for Grace when she gets home. So that is what I want you to know. How, like, undo the things. If you're doing any of the things of what I suggested not to do, and I gave you all the flip side of what to do, put those into practice right now and see what that creates in your world. And I will be back here live tomorrow. And tomorrow, we're going to be talking about one of my most favorite things is getting curious and asking questions to create things with ease, and to allow, we'll talk more about energy and allow more of, and hi, Huya, sorry, allow more of the energies and how to create from a place of curiosity that allows things to show up with far greater ease, but also with this joy and delight and surprise. So I can't wait to see you tomorrow, and have a beautiful rest of your day or rest of your evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Bye-bye.